this is Irina Blount from La La Land Crafts. Today is day 8 of the La La Land Crafts holiday tutorials of 2023. Our design team already started on the blog with the first 7 and today I am joining in. During this event we have 2 giveaways. One is on our blog. When you comment on all of the blog posts, you'll be entered for a chance to win $50 gift certificate to our online store. And now when you comment on my videos during this event, there is another chance to win $50 gift certificate. So please do go on our blog. Just go to lalandcrafts.com and click on there on the blog. And also during this event we have 20% off for you. The 20% off, it starts today and it's valid through December 22nd. Your coupon code is winter2023 and you already know where to go to shop, to lalalandcrafts.com. And this is the card we're going to make today. This card features some of our new products and some of our previously released products all in one card. It's a snow globe card and we have a pocket on the inside on one side and it's embellished on the back. So let's go ahead and start with the tutorial. I have all of my layers cut already. We'll just go really quick through all of the measurements, but you'll find the measurements in the video description as well for your reference and for your convenience. So the base layer, the card base, measures 11 3/8 by 5.5. Then we have white layer that measures 6 3/4 by 5.25. We have another white layer that measures 5.25 by 5.25. Gold cardstock, the same size, 5.25 by 5.25. Then a smaller white layer that measures 5 by 5. Layer of acetate measures 4.25 by 4.25, and then another layer of gold cardstock that you can see already I cut the circles from, but I start with 4.25 by 4.25 square. To score, I'm using my score pal and I'm scoring the card base at 5.5 on the long side, and then I'm going to turn it and score it at 5.5 again. So I find it's just easier to do this way than trying to figure out how wide is the spine for the card is. Next I'm going to score the long layer, the one that measures 5 3/4 by 5.25, and I'm scoring it on the 5 3/4 side. I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch first and then leave the paper in the same position and score it at 3.25, turn it and do it the same way on the other side. So 1/2 inch first and then 3/4 of an inch. Next thing, I'm going to grab my 5 by 5 layer, and this is the layer that's going to be inside of our card. I'm going to add 1/8 of an inch frame all the way around, and you've probably seen me do it all the time. I do it every single time, especially on the inside layers of the card. I feel like it adds such a nice detail, and I say that if I don't do it, I feel like my card is naked. So I'm just starting about 1/8 of an inch from top and stopping about 1/8 of an inch from the bottom, and that gives me like a square frame all the way around. Here I'm using our double stitched circles die to create the opening in the 5.25 by 5.25 white layer. This is how the die looks like. You can see it has stitching on both sides, and this is the largest size from the die. I'm going to use removable tape to hold the die in place while I'm die cutting it, and I'm going to position the die center, right and left, but I'm going to pull it a little bit higher, so it's about 1/2 inch from the top. Once you have a die cut, we're going to remove the circle from the layer, but we're going to leave the die in place. And the next thing, we're going to grab our card base and line up this layer right in the front space between where the spine is. So in this front panel of our card, that's where the die cut circle, die cut window is going to go. And I'm going to make sure when I'm positioning it so it's 1/2 inch from the top and line it up so I have about 1/8 of an inch going all the way around the layer, and then just use the tape that was already there and go ahead and die cut it. Now this is cut and I have the openings, the circle openings through both of my layers. I'm going to save those circles for later. Now we can go ahead and remove the die. And now I'm going to grab my scoring board again and do my 1/8 of an inch all the way around. I'm making sure that my layer is facing down since I already have die cut the circle on it, so the right side down and all the way around 1/8 of an inch to emboss the frame. Next thing here I have our winter circle die, and I die cut it from white cardstock, from this pretty light turquoise cardstock, and then I die cut it also from darker turquoise cardstock for the Christmas trees, and from yellow cardstock for moon and the stars. For the base of this circle, to assemble our winter circle, I'm going to use the smallest one from the ones I already die cut from my gold layer, and for this I used our stitched nested circle die, and I used the largest and the next one next to it, and it will all make sense later why I die cut it that way. So this is how they were cut, 2 of them together at the same time. I'm going to use the smaller circle, this one here, for the base of our winter circle die. I'm going to start gluing with my designer dries clear glue by Art Glitter, and I always start when I assemble our circle dies, I always start with the frame die first. So I'm just adding a little bit of the glue here, and then it goes right onto my gold layer. And then the next one is going to be the top one, the light turquoise layer that has the sky. You can die cut this circle from many different colors, create different color combinations. On our blog you can see different ideas from our design team. This circle is from our November release, so it's been out only for a couple of weeks now, but there are so many different ideas from our design team, and this goes together like a puzzle. Really, you can't miss, you can't do wrong by this, because everything just fits in the place it needs to go. And the next thing, I'm going to inset 2 additional pieces for the snow. So the lower one goes there, right where you see it fits in the bottom, and then we have another one that goes right beneath the Christmas trees. We have a few other circles in our range. There are 3 additional ones, and all of the circles are the same. All the circle builders are the same size, and all of them fit on this circle that we're using, on the nested stitch circle on this size, and also all of them fit into the globe die. I'll add the links in the video description just for your convenience if you want to take a look and see what other circles of this type we have. Now I'm adding the darker turquoise trees into this circle where they belong there, the larger one and the smaller one. This is such a cute little Christmas trees there. And then see how the moon and the stars are showing through the gold cardstock? It's just so pretty. So really, if you're just using it on the card as is, as an embellishment, you wouldn't need even to add anything else. But for this specific design, because we have a gold frame, another gold going on there on the card, it just felt like it needed yellow for the more contrast. So this is what I'm doing right now. I'm adding the yellow moon and the stars. What I find works the best for me is to add the adhesive to those little openings there instead of trying to put the glue on the tiny pieces. And then I can use my tweezers for the moon, and I'm gonna use the pick, the wax pick, for the smaller stars to put them in. And all of the stars are the same size, so there are 3 of them, they're the same, so you don't have to figure out which one goes where. And look at this, look how pretty that circle is. So back to our card base, I already used my bond folder to fold it and burnish it on both of the score lines to create the spine. And now to the layer that we have scored 2 score lines on each side. So I'm using my bond folder here, and that gives us 1/4 of an inch little spine on both sides, and that will give us that dimension for our snow globe die. I really don't even know what to call this style of the card. I really never seen it before. I just wanted to have a flat front of the card and have the snow globe part to be inset instead of being on the front, on the top. So here I'm adding 1/4 of an inch scoring tape on each of the flaps. I'm not putting anything of my on the 1/4 of an inch spines. I'm just using 1/4 of an inch tape to put on my 1/2 an inch spines, and then we're going to use scissors and miter the flaps, so little triangles off on each side. It just creates a cleaner look when we put the layer into the card. Before we attach it to the card, let's glue some layers. So the square that we had the circle die cut from in the beginning, we can go ahead and attach it to the front of the card now. Just make sure you position it correctly, because you die cut it a certain way, it will only fit one way. So we can get glue and just quickly glue that on. And next we have our gold layer. This is where I die cut the circles from, and we're going to glue this layer from behind to create a frame like this. And look how pretty that is. It reminds me of the picture frames or the photo frames when you have them professionally mounted. It's just amazing. You can use this idea on your scrapbook pages as well. When we glue this layer on, I'm not even going to worry about it being even on the back, because we're not going to see it. I'm just adding the glue all the way around and making sure I don't get too close, because about 1/8 of an inch is going to show into the opening. So just add this on. You can turn to the other side, see if it's straight or not, but as I mentioned, we won't be able to see it anyways. If you want to straighten it out like I did, you're welcome to, but the main thing is to make sure that it's even on the front. And next we're going to attach our inset shadow box into the card base. We're going to attach it on one side first, and we're going to attach it on the outside one. We're going to fold, so just the flap is folded. You'll be able to see the little spine in front of you. Going to remove a little piece of the release paper from the double-sided tape, just expose about 1 inch and pull it up, and then we can line it up. And when I'm lining it up, I'm making sure that it's even on the top and the bottom of my card, and it's the same distance from the front edge. So it's not on the edge. It has this about 1/8 of an inch there. And once you have it in place in the correct space, then you can pull the backing, pull by that little end there, and this layer will be attached on one side. And you can open it and burnish it there, or just kind of press on it. And the next thing, line it up. Make sure, we're not closing it yet, but make sure that those little 1/4 of an inch spines are perpendicular, so they are straight up and down. This is very important. That will ensure that our circle, when we put it in our winter circle, is in the center of that opening once we close this layer up. So that's where it's going to be glued on. So let's do this again. I'm going to again just square those spines, make sure they are going to be right where they're going to end up when we close it. And then I'm going to close my card and glue this circle, the one that we created, right in the center of the opening. Now we can open this back up and close our window, our opening with the acetate. So that's our 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 acetate. You can use the score tape or liquid glue. It's the same size as our gold layer there, so I'm just adding a little bit of the glue all the way around, trying to keep it out of the opening. Got a little bit on there, so just clean it up really quick, and now the acetate can go on. I really love the detail. I love adding acetate to my cards. Just creates really nice window-like effect. And once we have the acetate on, now we can close this layer, and I'll show you the easiest way to do it, to line it up. So now when you close it, we're going to have the spine that we have on the left. You're going to fold it out, and then the flap that we have on the right side is going to line up right where it's supposed to be. So I know it's kind of hard to see white on white, but trust the process. When you're making yours, it will make more sense. So once you pull everything to the left and fold that flap, it's gonna fall right into the place. So again, I'm just removing about 1 inch of the release paper from the scoring tape and then pulling it up. And now when I straighten it, it goes right there, and look at this, centered perfectly. For the base of our snow globe, we're going to use this shape, and I just have to show you. This was actually designed as the shutters for the window die. Both of these are new dies from our last release. In the set of the shutters die, there are 2 different sizes: the longer one that you see on my right, and the shorter one that you see on my left. Somehow when I was getting ready for the video, I couldn't find my shorter shape from the dies, but you can see the size of it, and look how it makes a perfect base for our snow globe. So the reason there are 2 different sizes in this die is because if you have your window die vertically like this, then you'll use the larger shape, and you're gonna cut 2 and add 1 on one side and another one on the other side. But when you're using your window horizontally, then you can use the smaller shape, and see how pretty it is to use it on both sides like that. So just really wanted to show you really quick. For the project we are working on today, I die cut it twice, once from the 110-pound craft cardstock and one from the gold cardstock, and we're going to glue them together just to add thickness to this layer. And of course we need a label for our snow globe, and for this label I'm using our ticket die. It comes in 2 different dies in this set, so there's a larger one and the smaller one, and I use the smaller one for this project. It has really pretty stitching all the way around, and it just looks like it fits perfectly on our base of the snow globe. For the sentiment, I'm using the sentiment from the Let It Snow clear stamp set. It's one of the new stamp sets. It has 3 snowmen, and the sentiment says Merry Christmas. I'm using archival ink in jet black and inking it upside down. I usually do it this way. I tap, 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 and then hold it over my label and bring it down. One tip I have about stamping on the texture cardstock, and this is 110-pound white texture cardstock, I hold my stamp down for a few seconds. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that gives time for the ink to absorb in all of those hooks and crannies, so then there is no spaces in between the letters or anything like that. So that goes right in the center of the base of our snow globe. I pulled it down about 1/4 of an inch from the top and then centered it right and left. And once this is done, we can go ahead and attach our base to the card front on the bottom of our circle, and it just makes this a perfect snow globe. We always look at the shapes of the dice, right, not at the names. So even though this is window shutters, we are making this into the snow globe. One thing I wanted to mention, that this card, even though it has the spine on the side of the card and we have our layer has spines on the sides, but see how you can fold it. If you fold the whole thing to the side, you can mail it flat, and then your recipient just pulls it back up and it displays perfectly. And also, while we are attaching all of the layers, just so it's easier to work with, we can fold everything to the right and have it flat to attach all of our embellishments. We have a few more things here. I'm going to start on embellishing with the snowflakes, and this is our 3 snowflakes die. It comes well, as a set of 3. There is large, medium, and small. And we're going to start with the large one. I'm going to cut it apart right from point to point, just in half with the scissors like that, and then we're going to glue one to the top left corner. And when I glue it, since we have created already this, remember this nice 1/8 of an inch frame, embossed frame, I'm going to glue it to the top and to the left side of that frame. So not the layer, but I know it's white on white and it's a little bit hard to see on the video, but it's right there on the frame, and it creates just such a nice effect that I am in love. And I'm in love. You've seen me cut the snowflakes apart before, I'm sure. If you watch my videos, this is my favorite way for some reason to use the snowflakes. And then the snowflake on the right side, I'm going to again put it to the embossed line on the right side, but from the top I'm going to pull it a little bit down, about 1/2 an inch, and it's kind of offsets it and it adds more interest to my liking, to my eye. It looks better design wise than having them symmetrical. And then on the medium sized snowflake, instead of cutting it from long point to point, I'm going to cut it between the points. So they're like, when you see the die, you'll see it, they're like tiny small points. So I'm cutting the part that way. And the reason why is because I'm going to position it to the top, and it just looked visually, it looked better. So a little bit of the glue there, and then it goes again to the score line on the top next to our snowflake, to the large snowflake that we already have there in the corner. So pretty, white on white, just adds so much texture. And then with our small snowflake, I'm cutting it from long point to long point, and it's going to go on the bottom of the large snowflake on the left side. And again, I am arranging it to the score line. And the rest of the snowflakes, of the half snowflakes of the medium size and the small one, I'm going to save them for later. Those are going to be on the inside of the card. The next thing I have here are our olive branches die, and I thought it would be a good idea to use it for Christmas because those olives looks like berries, and why not? So this die comes as a set of 2 as well, and it's a little bit longer than what we need for this card. So I went ahead and I cut 3 leaves off of each branch. So I'm going to show it to you in a second. So one is going to go this way, and another one is going to face up. So here you go. So I'm cutting 3 leaves off, and I already cut them on the one that I have on the card. So one is going to go down, another one is going to go up like that. And the next thing here, I have the the needles, the pine needles die. It comes as a set of 2 as well, and you can layer them or you can use them individually, how I have on this project. If you layer them, it just creates really cute kind of fuller branch there, or pine needle like this. But for today's project, we're just going to use one going on the top, one going on the bottom. And the next thing, we have our poinsettia, and this is our layered poinsettia die. I just adore this die. It's one of my favorite ones for Christmas. It has a lot of detail there, so once you die cut it, you can see it. It also comes with the little center like that. I die cut the poinsettias from red, and then the little center from gold cardstock. I don't know if you can see it. I don't think you can see it on the video, but when you die cut it, it has really pretty detail. The video is kind of bright, so it's a pity you can't see it, but if you have this die, you know what I'm talking about. And then to glue it together, you simply layer them, offset the petals or the leaves. I guess the poinsettia has just the leaves, and then the smaller one in the center right there. And I really don't even pay attention which way. I just offset them because the petals are all different, so it just creates different ways, the different looks every time you put it together. And then the center goes right there in the center, and that poinsettia goes on top of the branches and the leaves. Just want to mention that I die cut. I don't know if you can see it really well in the video, but the branches are die cut from a little bit darker green cardstock than pine needles, so we have variation of the color there. Now all I have to do is to glue this whole arrangement one thing at a time onto my card. The penguin that I'm using on this card is from our newer stamp set called Jolly Penguins, and it has 4 different penguins doing different things and 3 sentiments. I already stamped and colored mine. I colored mine as OLO Markers, but of course you can use any color medium of your choice, markers, pencils, watercolors, whatever you're coloring with. I'll list the colors, color combination that I used on mine in the video description below, and I'll list the conversion to COPIC markers as well for those of you who are coloring with Copics. So I'm just fuzzy cutting this little guy. He's just so cute. I just love him, and once he's fuzzy cut, we can glue him onto the card. What a little cutie. So you can use a liquid glue and just go ahead and add him right there on the side of the snow globe base. Just make sure you're not covering the sentiments, so maybe pull him out just a little bit there. Let's see. Yep, that is perfect. He's just so cute. I just love this card. Now on the inside of the card we have our white cardstock and gold cardstock. We already did the embossing 1/8 of an inch all the way around, so now we can just go ahead and glue that on. And we have 2 of the circles that we have from die cutting the openings in our card base and card front. I'm going to use one of those circles inside of the card here, and also this little gold frame that I have left from die cutting my circles. We're going to use it because why not, right? So I'm going to cut it apart, and I'm going to add this gold detail on each side of my circle. The easiest way I find to do it is to glue my circle on, but only glue it in the center so we can tuck in our gold layers from each side. So just adding the glue right in the center of my circle and gluing it on so that glued part is up and down, center the circle in the square. And now we can lift those areas on the sides and tuck our gold parts under. Show you a little trick here. So now, since we only glued the circle in the center, if you want to add the glue onto the sides, you can use a scrap piece of paper and add the glue. I usually just add the glue like in the corner somewhere, and then when you leave that circle and put this layer under, and what I'm doing now, I'm pressing the scrap piece of paper to the white circle, to the bottom of the white circle, and then I can do the same on the other side. So just lift that, insert the scrap piece of paper with the glue and press it into the circle, and that will add the glue on there, and then you can press the circle down and the circle is all the way glued on, and we have this pretty detail, gold detail that I feel kind of really adds to the inside of the card. So the what I'm showing you here are the two little Christmas trees, and those are from light turquoise cardstock, and those came out from when I was die cutting the circle for the front, right? So those are from the sky part. The little Christmas trees came out from there, and they're just so cute, and I'm using them here on the inside of the card, but of course you can save them for some other project. They can be as a standalone, just if you need some small tiny Christmas trees sometimes for your cards, just think about this circle, because even if you're not die cutting the circle, you can still use the Christmas trees. And now, speaking of the Christmas trees, from the same release we also have this die. I didn't use it on this card, but just wanted to show you. It's called Two Christmas Trees. It's the same, exactly the same shape, so you can mix and match. And also we have the stencil that's called Christmas Tree, and it has the two stencils in the set, and one of the stencils has exactly the same shape as well, so you can mix and match in different things. This whole layer can go inside of our card. And the last thing here, we have our pocket. This is our horizontal pocket die. When you die cut it, it gives you the pretty stitching on the top, and it also has embossed lines for scoring on each side. You can go ahead and fold it on 3 sides. And we have one longer side and 2 shorter sides. This pocket was designed for the gift card, so the gift card goes in here horizontally. We have other pockets. We have vertical pocket that's called curved pocket, and that's the one where the gift card is going to go vertically. And we also have right and left pocket that are a little bit slanted, and they're all sized for the gift card. I'm going to use the 1/4 inch score tape and add on all 3 sides there, and then we're going to add it to the left side on that part where we have our circle inside, right? So it just on that side, just adding another element there, and you can put a gift card or a note or a tag, whatever you prefer. The easiest way I find to attach the pocket is to remove the tape just from the bottom. So whichever pocket you're using, just from the bottom. So here I'm using the horizontal pocket, so I removed it from the bottom, from the long side, and then you can unfold it and press into it, and then remove the backing from both of the sides, of the vertical sides, and when you fold it back, it's just gonna fit right into the place, and it's really easy to do, and this way you position it where it needs to be without having all of 3 sides exposed. The last thing I'm going to do on this card is to add some embellishments, some little bling or pearls in this case. Even though those pearls have adhesive on the back, I like adding a little bit of the glue on the layer just to make sure they being held in place. And I'm going to use the larger size of the pearls in my large snowflakes, then the medium size in the medium snowflake, and the smaller pearl in the small one. And of course you can also add liquid pearls if you like to, maybe different color, maybe turquoise color would look pretty too, but I really love the white on white here with the pops of color. And you can also use rhinestones or anything like that. Just see what you feel looks good on the card. And that completes our project. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I really love this this style of the inset kind of shadow box. I realized that I didn't add the two of the half snowflakes. I didn't show it to you during the video, but you can go ahead and glue them somewhere on the inside there, just to add them on to the score lines like we did on the front. So don't forget that we have the giveaways on our blog. Just go to our website and click on the blog from there. If you're not familiar, find the last 7 tutorials from our design team and comment there for a chance to win $50 to our online store, and also comment on all of my videos for your second chance. And don't forget about the sale, 20% off on everything from today through December 22nd. Your discount code is winter 2023. And this is all for me for today. I'll see you back for another tutorial tomorrow. Bye for now and much love.